Uh-oh, am I running out of things to say? I've been carving since 1999 and been doing it straight all the way through and non-stop. And a lot of the things that I've learned, one of the major things that I've learned from an instructor, well, not only an instructor, but what was going on, was it be a day or a week. Now on the hand here, I'll still just clean it a little bit, bring that pencil mark back in. And it'd be a day or whatever, and most of the time I want to get to the face or the hand. I mean, all this other stuff is just easy. This is easy stuff. I mean, even if you're starting from a block of wood, this is easy stuff. And that's what I wanted to do, was I want to get to the details. And when you're starting from a rough out or a block of wood or whatever, you got to dig in to get to the rough out, to get to the detail. And that's what I would do, is I would just carve as fast as I could. Who cares if I break this? I'll come back to that later. Or I ruin that, I'll come back to that later. I want to get into the face or the fingers or whatever. And that's how I learned to be a more quicker, rapid wood carver. And I like doing that because then I can go on to the next. I mean, after all, how many projects do we have that we wish we could finish or do? Now I want to get back to the bottom here. This is one of the reasons why, right there, is why I chose this piece to be the go-by for me to carve, is because it's got an anomaly there, and I hate to give this to a student or send it over when somebody purchases. I hate giving away or sending that's got these knots. And I'm okay with that. You know, when I open the box after I get I don't do the rough outs. I send it out. And, you know, of course you look at it and there's that black spot, you know, that sapsucker hole. And I would and turn into a black. And I like to do that, and I like to do that instead. Don't give it to the student. Sometimes when I go for a new batch, and if I go for a new batch of this, and then there's a whatever black mark somewhere, I would take that out and I would carve it, because I know how to get around that and and how to paint it right so that mark disappears, and then I would sell it as is. I can fix that. Now, how is it going here? I can't get. I don't want to get too close either, because then I'll lose. Yeah, it's one thing about a rough out, is you can get things done much quicker than from a block of wood. I mean, we're some minor or some details. We got the hands and the face, and we're almost done. Well, kind of, sort of. You can add some. Take a round chisel and probably add some folds. Sometimes I do that. Have I done it to this one? No, I did not do that to this one. Now, a minor detail that I want to do is this belt, because the belt, that's what that's for. That's what's missing on this picture. That's why I didn't see that. But that's why I did that extra. I just still got, good thing I still have enough. I bet you guys are saying, yeah, that's where the belt is, you idiot. But I still got enough here. Jeez, what's the matter with you? Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Hoya. It's a good thing it's a good thing you guys yelled out quick enough. It's really funny. I mean, everybody makes those mistakes. I don't want to name names. There's one particular famous cowboy woodcarver out there in his videos, and one time he had an arm missing. He was about ready to paint. And the missus said, what about the other arm? Whoops. So it happens, and then you can fix it in there. We'll get that in there. That'll still get in there. Okay, anyways, as I was saying before I interrupted myself, is while I'm cleaning this, I want to bring this in because this is a belt that is holding the coat together. It's not a belt that's keeping the pants from falling down. This is a coat belt which squeezes together, and he should have this kind of almost like a girly, maybe that's not the way to put it, is because when this comes in, then this is going to come in. Let me get this. There's still some marks there. And then this is going to come in. And this is going to come in. And this is going to come in. Sometimes I do, as you can tell, some little details as I am cleaning. These are the little details. These aren't like the face or anything like that, face or hands. That's always left to the end. But once in a while, and this comes in, and this goes in. Get out of there. No prying with the knife. In. Just a little bit. I want this to sag. I think I'll have to come back some more. I think I cut too much off. It's all right. But I do want this to sag. Now this also is in. Tip of the knife. Tip of the knife. Now that's one of the things that I'm trying to teach every time I have a class. I look at how they handle their knife, especially when it comes to this kind of detailing. You want to use the tip to clean that out of there. And some people would be like, no, you want the tip. And in order, you got to bring the knife up, but they can't bring the knife up like this. And some of the people would have their thumb, you always got to put your thumb on the carving when you do these kind of details. And their thumb is like this, and they're going like, and that is so dangerous. That can go flying. I mean, that got out of there. But when you use the thumb down, you can get that tip up there. And I always say, get the butt of the knife up, 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 up. And then people, some of the carvers would say, I'd look at them and there, now you got it right. You got it exactly the way. And then they would say, well, this kind of feels odd. But that is one of the things that just kind of gives me the hooligans, and I try to, like I said, I want to keep teaching. Now this this is for the sake of smoothing here. That's why I got my knife flat. I'm not, same with flat. Because I already got the, I can see the knife marks in there. Flat to bring this around, flat to bring this around. Now we could do, I was going to add some more details later, how things kind of scrunch. Whoops. Whoops. Now I'm going to bring my knife, hold on to the back end. So that's back end of the handle, therefore I can have a bigger sweep. That's another thing. The difference in sweep between here and here is little sweeps. Here is bigger sweeps when you have that knife, the blade out. And one of the things about when I teach wood carving, I mean, this is kind of funny, bad, I suppose, it's almost a do as I say and not as I do. Because sometimes this is the right way to do it. And you'll look at me and, am I still in? All right, what else to talk about? Da 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 da. No, I don't think you want to hear me sing. I don't think I really don't sing. Let's bring this up a little bit. Now we need the tip. And while we're in the process of kind of repairing here, now we need the tip here. Set about the right width, about the right spot. Now the thing is here, he's tilted, so we got to make sure that this is tilted. Oops, I can get in there with Mrs. Claus in the way there. So just tilt it just a little bit, just enough to at least show that you know what you're doing. And it's the same here. Now we need the tip. Tilt. 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 Oh, here comes the cat. No, Ethel, get out of here. She's still not in view. I think she's just sitting there. A lot of times she just sits and stares at me like she wants something. You already ate. Did that pop out of there? No, it didn't pop. Get out of there. Again, the audacity of, you made the right cuts, how come it's sticking in there? Does that happen to you? And I'll come back to clean that later. I do quite a bit of cleaning up later. Moving right along, I want to get her bottom half going here. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, if we were starting from scratch on a block of wood, geez, where would we be right now? I mean, I'd be snapping out a lot of wood, of course. But, I mean, I think we're probably just getting started. I mean, you can, after I've cleaned, you can almost paint what I've cleaned up. Almost. Oops. Oops, I don't like the way that grain is going, so I'm going to have to, no. This is a bad angle here. Getting off screen here. I do that a lot because I'm just so focused, and yet I want to get the camera as close up as at the same time. And I like doing this by myself instead of having a cameraman in there, because you know it's somebody else's time. But here, I do like the way I'm doing these videos, is that it's relatively over my shoulder, off to the right a little bit. I prefer it this way instead of having it in front of me and you looking at my mug, and you know, you're not here to see me, you're here to see the carving here. I don't know what my mug would bring to this video or any of my other videos. So, all right, getting there is that a little bit of detail, because what's going to happen is what I got here, got Ethel there, right, is that this is a particular model in which the coat, so the coat will come out this way instead of it split in the middle and come together. And that's how I got it going there. But these are shoes or boots sticking out. I want to make sure they stick out. And this goes in. Not only does this go in, but her being there pushes this in. So I'm starting to do some detail. Oops, careful, that green took my knife. Oops, no prying of the knife. Cut here. Cut here. So we're going to cut another shadow, deep cut shadow, which kind of separates them a little bit. And whenever you have two figures together, unless the artwork shows that they should be one blob, try to get one, at least a knife mark or something in there that will kind of separate or show a separation between the two characters. And same here, this is going to come in because she is pushing that in, number one. And number two, I had it this way, but like I said, the bit doesn't get in there. And since this is going in, I want to be careful that the shoes are coming out. The scraping of the knife, I always hate that. Now see, I still got some cut there, so I can take this knife and go flat in like this. Where now I'll take that my tip down in there. And I'll clean this up later. I just want to keep moving along. I mean, you keep digging and digging. We'll get to that later. I mean, it drives me nuts, but okay, let's make sure that the boots are out. Now we could have the second half of the coat out a little bit because the shoes are out there, is pushing it out. So let's just get a little extra scoop here so you can have this part of the coat in and out at the same time. Now the feet are going to be kind of funny on him because he's actually leaning towards her, and that's why the feet are kind of funny here. You could have, there's still enough material to have had 1 foot here and then 1 foot, but then I don't want his foot to interfere unless I can put the foot together like they're playing footsies. And especially with this, if you choose that, even though like how I got it now, is you can cut this away and somehow make it like the other shoe is missing. So that's why I want to do both worlds here. Clean this up. All right. I like I said, there's still more cleaning to do here. Now, same with her. She's going to come in. So it's the other way. So in other words, we were separating him from her. Now we're going to separate her from him. Make sure that this goes in. Careful that foot there. Now the foot, definitely for her, the 2 feet are together. You know, I want to say the girly 2 feet together while she's with her man, kind of a, I don't know, way. And then this here, same with down here. See how I kind of, it's almost like a V cut. And you can bring the V tool in there, but sometimes I like to have it imperfect instead of it being too machine looking. And that's what I want to do here, cleaning and separating at the same time. And again, we'll clean it up later. I just want to get this thing kind of going. Usually my videos are all fast-paced. This is relatively fast-paced because I'm trying to get a weekend's worth of videoing in about 2-ish, give or take, hours. I mean, you can always stop the video when you're getting kind of behind. But like I said, otherwise we'd go on, and I don't want to bore you with, you know, when we get the details, I'll get it up there. I'll get up to the lens and do this and that. But if I keep doing too much of that, it'd be the other way around. You guys would be caught up. And again, a little bit of separation, but not too much. The clothing is kind of loose here, so I could get that pencil mark out of there. So it could mesh together a little bit. Good. Possibly. Same with the feet. Now this one here, I could do this a little bit like this. This kind of comes up. It comes up. Okay, there's her feet. And then here, how it kind of comes down slowly. Mine comes down a little more faster. But there's still enough room. And again, it's either my pattern is different, or B, again, the routing bit couldn't get in there. Now, what I did was, now this particular, and this drawing here, and this printout, is actually a different Santa Mrs. Claus carving, which is found a new home somewhere, and so I started kind of from scratch and made a pattern. So what I do is I make these patterns and then send it to my rough out guy in Missouri, and he would rough them out for me. Now this is from the same guy, the rough out guy. If you've ever taken a class from Floyd Radigan, Chris Howard, and I'm trying to think of all the names have gone to him, to which that if you had those classes, Leah Goddard, who else? There's even a few more people. Willoughby, what's his first name? He's a caricature carver. Also Ryan Olson. If you ever had any of their classes, this is the same thing. I mean, I'm not talking about the character himself, but the very person. And if you're happy with the wood that he provides. I'm gonna have to come back to this. I think I'm messing this up. Kind of having troubles chewing gum and walking at the same time here. But that's the quality of my roughouts is the same as theirs because it's from the same guy. After I send them a pattern and they send me the first round and I get it going, and as supplies start to get running low, and I just, all I have to do is call in, just make a couple of grunt sounds, and he sends the next batch. So he keeps the pattern. Okay, I think we got it mostly clean except for the face. I would like to, and again, we're gonna really clean this up, really pick. I don't want to waste your time me doing so much picking because I do see these things. It's just I want to move on to the more important stuff. You can always pick later.